Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
I can't hear you.
And how about now?
That's better.
Okay, this is a cantankerous system, so I'm wondering if anybody heard anything I said. Usually they do, it's just the chat.
Okay.
Doesn't work. So how are you doing tonight, and how is Gateway Comics, is that correct?
Gateway Comics, that's the larger comic company, if you can call it larger.
Well, it's the umbrella company.
It's the umbrella company. It's and we're doing pretty well. We have 4 comics that run weekly on the website. Super Cat, of course, which is what we're here to talk about. My own comic, Stalker, and then Marcos Gratio, the artist of Super Cat. He actually has 2 of his own comics that he runs on our website every week.
Now, so your comics are all website digital? They're not? Are they going to be published printed?
We do both. They come out on the
Okay.
web first, and then we print them for cons and run these occasional Kickstarters to get them out to those people who prefer a physical copy in their hands or just don't read webcomics at all.
That would be me. Well, what I was saying in the eloquent introduction that you missed because of the sound issues was that we had spoken with Shane Davis several months back, and Shane is doing a comic book called Pillowman and Blanket Boy. And
Okay.
This was a unique crowdfunding opportunity because Pillowman and Blanket Boy were the creations of his 11-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
And with that as a segue, we're going to bring in the actual creator of Super Cat,
Hello.
Timothy Potts. Hi, Tim. How are you doing tonight?
Good.
So tell us a little bit about Super Cat. Like, where'd you get the idea to make a superhero out of your cat?
So Super Cat, I got the idea because my dad had his comic, and he had been doing it before I was born. So I just was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And we have a cat named Stalker after his comic. And Super Cat wasn't actually going to be Cow, the actual cat that it's based on now. It was actually going to be Stalker. Stalker is afraid of her own shadow, so I was going to turn her around and turn her into this big super cat. Why are you climbing the wall, kitten?
That's no kitten. That's a big cat.
Oh, that's Midnight. She is our kitten. She's just over a year old, but compared to all the other cats, she's the kitten.
Yeah.
She's very long haired. Is she a breed?
We think she might be a Siberian long hair, but she's a barn cat, so we don't really know.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a Persian cat running around here somewhere myself. Chocolate colored. He's not chocolate covered. Not tonight, at least. Not until my son gets into the ice cream. Named Colton. So we're cat people here, and that's why Super Cat struck a chord with us. So Tim, you've grown up around the comic publishing all your life. Then you've been surrounded by comic books.
Yeah. Basically.
Is Super Cat your first attempt at writing comics? I mean, did you kind of make them on your own for yourself before?
Yeah, I made them on my own before. I made them for my class whenever I started it when I was 6 because I was like, okay, my dad does this, so I'm gonna take a piece of paper, go downstairs where my Xbox was, and I was going to draw. I was just gonna draw a couple of pages of Super Cat, and it was gonna be Super Bear, or like it was gonna be Super Bear and all that, but it changed to Super Cat pretty quickly whenever, I saw cats literally all around me.
Sure.
I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do a comic based off my teddy bear. I'm gonna do a comic based off literally everything in my house. A cat.
Inspiration surrounds you.
When
Yep.
he was 6 or 7, I would have been the 3rd Wizard World St. Louis. That was when he did his first comic book sales. I had my table set up for my Stalker comic, and he was sitting next to me in his Spider-Man pajamas with his Avengers coloring book, and he was coloring the pictures and then tearing them out of the coloring book and selling them for $1 a piece. He was actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, I had the exact same thing happen to me. I was at the Archon convention last year, if not the year. I think it was last. Yeah, it was last year. And I'm also the writer on Warren Murphy's Destroyer series right now, so I had the books there, the Remo Williams stuff. And my son
Nice.
decided that he had seen artists at conventions making money doing drawings, so he was going to sell Mario and Princess Peach drawings at $1 a piece. And he sold more, he made more than I did first day, which was humbling. But that's the age to make money at a convention.
Yeah. Nobody can say no.
11. Yeah. Oh no, they don't say no. They just they see an eager young person there who's breaking into the industry, and they want to encourage that. We all want to encourage that, and that's why I think this is a really important project to push. And for everyone in the chat, Hail Frog G, thank you for joining the chat. For everyone coming in, the link to this Kickstarter, which just kicked off today, is the first thing you're going to see in the description below here. It's a very modest goal, which is only $800 when I saw it. Is that right, Bradley?
The goal is 500, but we would love for it to blow up and do much better. We're actually at 300 now.
How many hundred is it? Just
the goal is 500. We've been going for about 6 hours now, and we're at 300 with about 10 backers last I checked. We would love for it to blow up, of course, but right now we'll be happy if we just cover printing costs and pay Marcos for Super Cat number 2.
Now, is 500 seriously enough to cover this? Because I talk a lot with different crowdfunded comics people, especially if they're just the writer and they're paying an artist in advance usually to do the artwork, because the artists generally don't say, yeah, let's crowdfund it and see how much we can get and share it. They want paid up front. Is 500 reasonable amount to do all this?
I would say that for most comic books, the answer to that would be no. But our artist, Marcos, he's down in Brazil. So a US dollar is worth about $4 to him. And
okay.
Also, he draws these very quickly in his spare time when he's not working on other books, and he's putting these out, or 3 or 4 pages a week, and he's only charging us $15 a page.
I'm going to need his email address and the way to contact him, because I've got some books to do. Everybody who just heard that in the chat, it's $15 a page to Marcos, the guy who's doing Super Cat, and you can kind of see a little bit here in the background. Do either of you have screen sharing capability where you're on the system you're on?
I do.
Yes.
You do, because it would be great if you could share that Kickstarter page here while we're talking about this, because the people who do come to this show and all the other crowdfunding shows, they like finding comic books that could be kickstarted. And I like pushing ones like this because I've been a comics reader I'm 53, and I've been reading since I was 4. got all through kindergarten knowing how to read, and nobody knew I knew how to read until after first grade. So, and then I opened my big mouth, and it's been downhill ever since. But I have 25 long white boxes over here to my left that are just out of frame. So I've been at it for a while. Yeah, we're at $294 on this Kickstarter here. Super Cat versus the Alien. So Tim, I'm going to guess that you also created the Alien. You're writing the story, right? This is more than just you came up with an idea. You're writing this whole tale.
Yeah, basically.
All right. So tell us a little bit, without spoiling the ending, exactly what kind of aliens are we up against here, and why is Super Cat the only hope for humanity?
So, the reason Super Cat is the only hope for humanity is there is no normal superhero like a normal human or a, let's say, anything that resembles a normal superhero, like, Superman or Wonder Woman or anything like that. There's nothing that resembles it. And, Super Cat just happened to come along to Earth, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's the new hero.
Okay, so he's an alien cat.
Yes.
Does he have a secret origin that we get to learn?
Yeah, you do.
That's the next book.
That's the next book.
Yep.
Now that looks like oh, it's Tom. That's not Tim. That's Tom. But I'm guessing that's supposed to be you.
Yeah, I'm basically
Very cool.
Spot's owner.
The cat's named Spot. I love it. Got the pen here. So Super Cat is basically the only superpowered person on Earth.
Yes.
Now I've seen in the preview pictures that Super Cat has word balloons, but he's usually just talking to the reader. Do the people in the story understand him? Does he talk to them?
He can speak to people, but mostly he just makes it sound like meows.
Oh, okay, so he doesn't want them to know that he's able to speak.
Yeah, but he could go up to a normal human, land, and go, "Hi, I'm Super Cat. What's your name?" And they can hear and understand him.
And then they
but
would freak out.
He doesn't do that much.
Oh, it reminds me of an old Disney movie, Bradley, that you might be familiar with Dean. Gosh, who was the Disney actor who was in just about everything? Dean somebody.
I remember there was the Cat from Outer Space.
That's the one I'm trying to think of. I just can't remember the name of the actor, but that was a cat from outer space who could talk to humans when he came down, but he only did it because he had a collar on that lit up.
He had like a high-tech or magical collar that gave him superpowers and the ability to communicate. And I think at some point in the movie, the cat loses the collar and they have to recover it.
They have to get the collar back. He's still a smart cat, but so does your cat sit for a lot of pictures for the modeling of this, or does you just took one and Marcos is taking it from there? I provided Marcos with this picture here. That's very cool. A lot of cat lovers in our audiences.
There is.
And actually, this particular cat has graced us with his presence. If he'll let me pick him up, he doesn't like to be held.
Oh, let's give Super Cat full frame here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I have to probably stop sharing the screen for you to see.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I can control that. You're good, Bradley.
Okay. But this is Cal, and he doesn't like to be held, so he'll want me to put him down very soon here.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That was quick. Very cool. Now I saw a stuffed Super Cat go by there. Is that a stretch goal?
It is not a stretch goal. That is a reward. We're offering up to 10 of these. These are hand sewn by Stevie of Stevie Draws Dinosaurs. If you've been over to the toy show in St. Louis, she has a table up in the artist's loft most of those shows, and she sells her dinosaur drawings and her handicrafts, Harry Potter stuff, and stuffed dinosaurs and other knitted and crocheted and sewn things. And she is creating up to 10. They'll be created on demand only. So the number of people who order them depend on how many, very limited. And of course, since she's making everyone by hand, we had to put a limit of 10 so that she, wouldn't be making them for the rest of her life if we got a bunch of orders.
Now, how can somebody get a stuffed Super Cat with this?
Yeah, this is the prototype. She'll be refining it a little bit, working through the problems that she had when she made the first one. But this is the prototype, and it'll look a lot like this one here that I'm showing on the screen now.
All right. Do you have a price on it?
The reward tier that gets the stuffed Super Cat is an $80 tier.
Okay.
And of course, it comes with a comic and the PDF of the comic and the Super Cat and a Super Cat sticker.
Awesome. Let's start with the tiers then. Let's go to the top and go over what the people's options are.
Sure.
And,
so
again, the link to this is in the description.
The tiers are actually the column over on the side, not. And so here are the different tiers. Our first tier is the $3 tier called DigiCat, and this would just be a PDF of the comic. So if you like your comics in a digital form, you don't care to have a print copy of it, for $3, we send you out a PDF, a high-quality PDF of the comic. And of course, those will be delivered almost immediately because they're already ready.
Okay.
The $5 tier, we add another PDF. So Timmy and I created together another version of Super Cat before Marco started drawing them. That's this Super Cat I'm showing here in the middle of the screen.
So if you guys will allow me to step out of the room, I can actually get that version of the Super Cat real quick.
We have a couple of print copies now. We're going to print more for the Kickstarter. But Timmy, of course, wrote the story, and this one I drew myself. And I'm not much of an artist, which is why we got Marcos to draw the real one. But this is written by Timmy and drawn by myself. And
That's not bad, man.
And we have these little manga-sized black and white Super Cat comics. And at the $5 tier, you would get the PDF of both versions of the comic. It's the same story, just one drawn by somebody who could draw and one drawn by me.
Stop throwing yourself down, Dad.
That's better than I can draw.
Yeah,
I draw Charlie Brown characters.
Yeah, if you look at that first panel of this strip, and then if we switch to here, see, that's the same scene.
Oh yeah, a lot more dynamic with Marcos. I got that.
Yes. But that's the manga black and white, manga-sized black and white version. And
okay.
Timmy does have a print copy one. I don't know if he's had a chance to grab that to show you guys yet, but he does.
Not yet.
Go ahead, Tim. You can go get it.
Excuse to get it.
Yeah, you're not on screen. You're fine.
Okay.
I'm giving your kid permission to do things. Your house. I should probably let you do that. But
our $6 reward tier is a print copy of the comic. So you would get the PDF of the comic, the print copy of the comic, which you can have signed if you want to. Some people prefer them signed, and some people prefer them not signed. We'll let the people in the survey afterwards say, let us know if they want their copy signed or not.
Yeah.
And you also get a Super Cat sticker. Every physical reward comes with a Super Cat sticker, which I think I have some here if I can find them quickly. Let's see. Where did I put them?
I am back.
Everyone will get a Super Cat sticker.
Very cool. Very cool.
If they're getting a physical reward, they get a sticker.
All right, and Tim, you've got a copy of the comic book there. I'm going to put you up on the big screen.
Yep.
You have to
So
get.
my camera can focus. There we go.
All right. Now that's the original that is in PDF
That's the
version.
original. Yeah,
Yep.
the new versions are not printed yet, not until we know how many we need. And we also are going to all the backers are going to be listed in the comic. So if you contribute to the comic, you'll be listed as a backer in the comic in the credits.
All right, go ahead and open that up, Tim. Can you show us the insides of it?
So if we open up to the first page, we have. The camera doesn't like to focus.
Oh, that's okay. We're getting an idea there. You know, Bradley, that looks awesomely like a coloring book.
It does, and some people have bought them for that purpose. You know, most of the copies that we sold of that at cons went to kids who were going to color them and have fun with them. And you know, obviously, some adults thought it was cute and just couldn't say no to the 10-year-old hawking comics. But
yeah. Now
there was this one kid who came up with his colored pencils and said, "Mommy, can I color it?" And we just looked at him like, we should make a coloring book.
Yeah, it looks like something you would color if it was on coloring book paper, you know, which is slightly different than comic book paper. Now,
actually,
I need to
the
back up here a
outside.
second. Yeah, the outside.
The outside is all the smooth paper, but the inside is like normal rough drawing paper, coloring paper. So yeah, you could use it. You could use it as a coloring book.
There you go. That's how you market that one. Tim, I need you to back up just a second here. Go back to that $6 one, please. That $6 play. Now, are you seriously telling me that for $6 you get the signed print edition of Super Cat versus the Alien?
that's correct.
Is it okay? So it's like $60 shipping, right? Because
It's I believe for this tier, I think the shipping is $2 or $3.
are you familiar with how crowdfunding works, Brad?
Yeah.
Okay, because you know that there's no comic book out there in the crowdfunding world that goes for less than $25 with another $15 shipping on it.
So it costs us about $3 to print. Most of our tiers are set at about twice our cost. So it costs us about $3 to print them. So we're asking $6 for it, and you pay for your own shipping. So that's not an expense to us.
This is a steal. If you're in the chat right now, even if you know anthropomorphic cartoon animals are not your thing, if you're a comic book fan and if you want to inspire the next generation of comic book creators to get out there and create new and original material, click that link. Get out there to Kickstarter. I know some of you don't like Kickstarter. You're all your Indiegogo people, but you know this one's on Kickstarter. Get out there and kick that one out. It's only got about $200 and a quarter to make its goal of $500. And look at the dates. This thing is already done. This thing is going to ship out in October of 2020, which is going to be here before you know it. This campaign is 30 days. This is 1st of August. It's going to be ordered 1st of September. By the end of that month, these things are going to be shipping out. Isn't that right, Brad?
That's correct. And the October is actually to give us a little flex room. I actually expect that most of the rewards, except for the plushies, will probably be shipped by the end of September.
Now, I'm guessing you're printing local, or are you a printer yourself? Or
I'm not a printer myself. We use a place called Greco Printing. I want to say they're in Ohio.
Greco Printing.
Down there in the Indicia, probably. Now, are you you're in the Southern Illinois area, right, Bradley?
Yes, we're in Belleville. We're in the Metro East, right across the river from St. Louis.
62221, right here. That's me. But I grew up in. Are you lifelong to the area, or did you transplant into the Air Force Base at some point or something?
Timmy is lifelong. I'm actually from Poughkeepsie, New York. I came out here about 20 years ago.
All right. Well, even that's not old enough for you to probably remember this. But I grew up in this area, and at one point in the 1970s, World Color Press was the printing place in Sparta, Illinois. And every comic book that existed in the world, whether it was DC or Marvel or Pacific Comics or First or Warp Graphics, it was printed in Sparta, Illinois, where I went to high school. So there were no comic shops around that you could find because everybody just took them home from the plant and had off the overruns. If you wanted to go comic book shopping, you waited till summer and you went to yard sales, or you knew somebody who worked there and you just went over to their house and just said, hey, did you get any extras of this? And I knew people who were comic book collectors who worked there, which sounds like, letting a diabetic run the candy store because he had long boxes of overruns and just have multiple copies of the same thing. But now, of course, everybody's printing everywhere, and sometimes it's more economical to print hundreds of miles away from where you're at.
Yeah, there's really two ways to print your comics. What we're doing is the kind of on-demand digital printing. Most people who print comics in the indie world will be familiar with a company called Kablam. They're kind of the big boys in that market. They'll print, one comic, they'll print 100 comics, however many you need. We've done a little shopping around over the years, and we've come to prefer Greco printing as our on-demand printer. These are for small runs. If you're doing 20 or 100 or 200, you're going to do your small run on-demand digital printer. If we were printing thousands of them, or even 500 or more of them, then we'd probably start looking into an offset printer who could, print the large numbers much more economically. I haven't had to do much shopping for those yet because I've never had a run that big.
Let's make a run that big.
That would be nice. There's a much longer lead time. With Greco printing, I place my order and I get the comic back in 2 weeks. If I were doing an offset printer, that could be a lot longer. There are some local offset printers, but they have not typically got any comic book experience. But yeah, if we get up into the hundreds of copies, then that would definitely be something that I would be looking into. Would be an offset printer who could print them much more economically than the on-demand digital printer.
All right, well, let's take a look at this next pledge here now, because you've got to have something up here that's going to be pricey. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, we'll get some more expensive things here. Nothing too crazy, but more expensive. So
$12.
So this particular tier is just both comic books. So you can get the new Marcos drawn cool color comic book and Timmy and Mine's original black and white manga size comic book with this tier. And you get both PDFs and you get the sticker. And that's our $12 tier.
That's 2 comic books for $12, people. Come on.
Yeah.
And a sticker. Everybody loves stickers. By the way, stickers ahoy. We do have our 3-inch Critical Blast holofoil stickers, and if you want one of those, we're always giving them away. All we ask is that where is my little overlay? There you are. Just send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Critical Blast at 1097 Prestwick Drive, Belleville, Illinois, and we will quickly and efficiently pop one of these in the mail to you, and you will have your own little Critical Blast sticker. These are very nice. They come from Sticker Mule, and they're very durable. These are metallic and flexible. They're sticking on everything around the house right now, so I've branded the house after the business. So for $12, you're going to get a Super Cat sticker, 2 printed comic books, 2 PDF comic books to read wherever you are away from your collection. This is an excellent deal. And you've got a second $12 pledge down here.
So if you prefer, we were talking about coloring books before. We're creating a 24-page Super Cat fun time activity book. And this is specifically going to be designed as a coloring book. So there'll be coloring pages, there'll be games, there'll be activities, there'll be puzzles, all those sorts of things. If you go and you look in the book aisle of the supermarket and you see those kids activity books.
Yes.
So there'll be like simple Sudoku puzzles, mazes, games, and coloring pages for the kids. And you in this tier you would get the Super Cat comic and the activity book.
Very, very cool. Okay, now we are getting more expensive here. We're getting into the $15 range. Wow.
A little bit.
That's getting pricey now. I might have to cut back on something.
Yeah.
So Super Cat art.
Yeah, at the $15 level, you're going to get the Super Cat comic book, and you're also going to get an 11 by 17 print of the cover art, or in other words, this here.
That would be
Nice.
cool. 11 by 17 print. Now, is that going to be like a rolled print or folded up print, or are you going to mail
It's
it?
going to be rolled up. I've got a bunch of boxes to ship those out in. So they'll be rolled up and put in those 2 boxes, and you'll get 2 boxes. You'll get a stiff envelope with the comic in it, and the 2 box with the print in it.
Oh, just roll the comic book up in the tube. It's flexible. It's fine. No.
If we roll them lengthwise, it might be okay, but a lot of people will probably be upset that the comic book curls when they bring it out.
Yes. Well, we're very forgiving about dates and such, but we are very picky about the condition of the book when it arrives. Yes. Yep. A lot of people, the Gemini mailer is king in this industry here, and there's it's not really an urban legend because it actually happened, but it will live in infamy. But there was a Star Wars parody comic book that was crowdfunded to great acclaim when people saw the story. They thought it was funny. They wanted to get in on it. Literally shipped with a stamp on the back cover and a handwritten a sticker address. It was like you were getting your Carol Wright catalog in the mail. So people were very, very unhappy about that.
I remember back in the 80s when I was subscribing to comic books from Marvel, they just had a brown wrapper wrapped around it with your address on it.
I had a subscription to Archie that did it that way, and the post office, for them, it's just a magazine. It's just a catalog. You roll it up and you shove it in the mailbox.
Yeah.
So.
And heaven forbid if it was raining the day it was delivered.
Oh God, yes, absolutely. Of course, back then I was just reading them to be reading them too. So
yeah,
I wasn't. I think the Overstreet price guide I had at the time was number 4. So it was a new industry to say we're going to collect these and they're going to be worth money.
I'm going to turn my light on in here. It's starting to get dark. I don't know if you can see me anymore.
I can see you.
We can all see you.
But the more light, I was going to say the more light, the better, but then you just kind of disappeared in a flash, but now you're back. So for $15, you get the comic book, and then you get the 11 by 17 print of Super Cat, the version of the cover, and you get the PDF comic. And of course, you said everything comes with the sticker, right?
That's correct.
All right. So that's $15 for $1 more, or is that $3 more?
It's $3.
$3 more for 2 bottles of Coke at the 7-Eleven. We're going to the next tier, which is the book collection.
So for this one, you're going to get all 3 of the printed books. You're going to get both comic books and the Fun Time activity book, and your sticker.
Can't forget about the sticker.
Can't forget the sticker.
That's all the books, folks. $18. You spent $25 on Cyberfrog and waited 8 months. $18, get all 3 comics. Promote the creation of comics in the next generation here. Get them by the next month, which is a huge deal. And the shipping is on this one probably what, about $5 with all that together, since it's
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, shipping is minimal. So get out there, follow that link in the description, get out there and get Super Cat funded. It's only got $200 more to go, which normally would go like that, but you're so cheap that it's going to take a little bit longer to get more people hit that $200 here. So that's the book collection for $18. But wait, that's not all.
No.
Okay, $29. Here we go.
$29.
This is more like it.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to get the Super Cat comic book, the black and white Super Cat comic book, the Fun Time book, and the print.
Well, that is everything.
And the sticker.
And the sticker. And the
And all
sticker.
the PDFs.
Is the sticker stuck on anything? You get-
No, we'll just cut them off here and send it in
okay,
there.
gotcha.
Kitten, do you want in? No.
No, he just wants to meow at the door, and then when you open it, he's going to look in and say, "Oh, I didn't expect you to actually open the door."
No, what's happening is she's playing with my toes underneath underneath the door, and then when I open it, she just walks away.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, game's over. Okay, fine." That's a cat. Our cat will protect us from the toe monsters that are always wiggling under the end of the blankets on the bed. So we'll be sleeping, and suddenly there will be claws that are waking us up. But he's just, saving us from whatever crawled under the blanket is going to get us. So this is everything in print. $29. You get both the books, the activity book, the print, and the sticker. So there's another tier.
Oh yeah.
That's a $35 tier there.
Ow!
So if everything's already in print, what more are we getting here? Your cat's going to torture you the rest of the video.
So for $35, you get the comic book and that T-shirt that Timmy's wearing.
Really? And the image on the T looks like the very, very cool. Who doesn't want a Super Cat T-shirt? Now, I'm not going to fit in the one Timmy's wearing.
No, probably not.
Size.
You can print them the size you want. You'll just tell them how many of what size.
Timmy doesn't barely fit in the one that Timmy's wearing.
Yeah, actually, I'm like a size bigger than.
Ow! Okay, I'm just gonna move my toes away from the door.
Good
I
plan.
think that'd probably be smart. Either that or defang the cat.
Nah, she's gotten so used to these claws. We're not doing it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Let her scratch up the post or the door or your feet.
My feet are
so
away
you-
from the door, and she's still getting me.
Yeah, she can see them reaching under there.
Ow.
Cats are like that. They want to play with your feet. Get her a laser pointer and just. In fact, is that Super Cat's weakness? I mean, if the aliens are fighting and then they aim a laser pointer at a building, will he run off? I mean, does Super Cat have any weaknesses? We're talking about the comic for a little bit here. We've gotten away from the character. Now, all great heroes have a weakness of some kind.
Water is like Super Cat's kryptonite.
Oh, I bet cats hate water. So
Oh
Super
yeah.
Cat's going to try and stay dry.
Except one cat, and that's literally Noah. Noah will go into a lake if he has to.
You have a cat that likes water.
Yes. He's weird.
So if you want to commit crimes in Super Cat's Town, do it on a rainy day. Nope. Aha! Aiming the water cannon at him. That'll take care of a cat.
How did Mike? This is kind of a question for myself, and I don't know how I didn't ever ask myself this. Where did they get all the water, and how did they get all the water if they're aliens?
Well,
Water is like the most common substance in the universe.
yes.
Not if they're aliens. Maybe they live off soda. You know?
Good point. Well, what that machine there is a ionic atomizer, and it's able to take ambient oxygen and hydrogen molecules already in the air and combine them into a burst. So
That's
You
probably what it is.
you've got to be prepared to explain your sci-fi on the fly. And make it plausible. But yeah, there's the somehow they knew water, help us, hope I dry off before I hit the ground.
Splat.
So water definitely makes him powerless then. He's falling, he's got to dry off. Well, if he's falling far enough, then yeah, he'll probably dry off because the wind friction will dry him off.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So that $35 tier, I think it was 35. You get the T-shirt and everything in print, or is that
Just the comic book and the T-shirt.
just the comic book and the T-shirt for 35? So let's keep scrolling down here. The socially distanced Super Cat.
Yeah,
Which is just about every cat I've ever seen. Ah, looky there. We have a Super Cat mask. So instead of the T-shirt, you're getting the mask on this one.
Correct.
That is very cool. And you know, I don't see these masks going anywhere anytime soon. So,
No, we're going to be using them for at least another year, I think.
yeah, you can order this mask, and you know it's going to come in October or sooner. And it's not going to be like, oh man, I should have bought the T-shirt because nobody's wearing masks anymore. No, you're going to be wearing your mask. It's part of our fashion now. So
Wait, isn't
$35
it
you get
if
the
you
socially-
isn't it if you get the socially distanced Super Cat, you get like the T-shirt too?
No, that's a different tier, Timmy.
Oh.
we have further one down here. So let's
We do.
keep scrolling. You got a lot of tiers on here. You are prepared for all kinds of options. The art commission tier, $40, people, an art commission tier. You're paying $200 for art commission tiers in your typical crowdfunded comic.
Well, this is
Usually just to get yourself thrown
digital.
into a
This is
comic.
digital art because Marcos does his drawing digitally, but Marcos is going to draw you your own personal Super Cat, basically poster, and we're going to print that up at 11 by 17, and you'll get the digital version and the 11 by 17 print of your commission along with your Super Cat comic book.
Okay, so but you're still getting a print of it, and you're the only person with this print. This is going to be a unique to you commission print of Super Cat.
That's correct.
And the PDF version of it, which you know what that means is you're going to turn that into like your phone desktop wallpaper. You can enter your phone and show that you're a Super Cat fan. I think Tim's still being attacked by
I think so.
Super Cat after the evil toe biter.
And we have 9 of these left. We're limited to 10 commissions, and we still have 9 left.
Okay, so one's already been taken, and at $40, how could it not be?
And so here, for 65, this is the Super Cat gear package where you get all your Super Cat gear, your T-shirt and your mask and your Super Cat book.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So you can wear the matching T-shirt and mask together.
Correct.
People will definitely know that you're a Super Cat fan. And you'll be reading the book. You can say, yeah, it's this guy right here. You should go out to Kickstarter and get your own Super Cat book. Walking advertisements. That's the way to make people. Now, $80, I'm seeing Super Cat in your house. So Cal's going to come over and run around my house for a little while for $80?
Yes.
That's the plushie.
That's the plushie.
Ow!
You should probably move your toes away from the door, Timmy.
My toes are away from the door.
Cat's got long arms. He's reaching in there and getting them.
It hurts. Stop it, man.
Hey, shove a pillow up against the bottom of the door. That'll stop her.
I'm in my parents' bed. I'm in my parents' bedroom. I kind of don't want to screw up their bedroom any more than I already have.
That's a good idea.
Farther from the door.
So for Super Cat in the house, $80. We're looking at the plushie, plus the PDF, plus the print.
And there is a correction here. I need to fix this. It's not a 12-inch plushie because Stevie found it was actually easier and faster to make it twice as big.
This is a
Whoa.
24-inch plushie.
Yeah, she doubled the size of the pattern because it's much easier to make it that way.
Okay. Everybody take note. This is a 24-inch plushie that you're getting with this $80 tier. So if I'm reading this right, you're getting Super Cat versus the Alien, the PDF. You're getting the print edition of Super Cat versus the Alien, signed by Tim. You're getting the Super Cat 24-inch plushie and the sticker.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And our final tier.
This is the
Gets
big
you-
buck one.
Yeah, this gets you almost everything except for the limited supply items. So you get all 3 books, you get the art print, you get the t-shirt, you get the face mask, you get the sticker, and the PDFs.
Very cool. Everybody should be jumping on this. I know we got limited audience right now because I think there's some other streams that kind of draw an audience that are happening right now. There's some news going on in the comic book world, in case you haven't paying attention to it. It's all backbiting and people not liking each other. But I know that there are some people watching, and I'm hoping that they're clicking. Can we scroll up real fast, Brad, and take a look at the top and refresh that
Sure.
and see if anything's happened here? This is where I either break my heart and look foolish, or I feel like I've done something.
No change yet.
No change yet. Come on, people. You can't get a better deal than this. Now, I'm going to ask a hard question here, Brad, because this is Super Cat. Are you worried at all about Streaky?
Worried about what?
Streaky.
Streaking.
No. Streaky. STREAKY, aka the Super Cat.
Oh, I would find it hard to believe that I only discovered that he existed like a week ago. So
Okay.
I discovered he existed when I searched up Super Cat, and I found there were 3 comics of Super Cat that weren't as good as ours, and then there was this giant band. And I was just like,
Yeah, everybody's doing it. Fair game.
I don't think there's much of an issue with confusion between the two.
No. I'm sure there's not.
one's a giant Super Cat comic, and then there's one that's a gianter, bigger band. There's not going to be any confusion, I really hope. Unless there is and they get them mixed up, then that's just weird.
It seems unlikely that they're going to confuse a flying superpowered cat with a big name musician.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now,
Unless they do, then that's just weird.
are you going to do any overrun on this so that you can have them for doing shows or going to local comic book shops and setting up signings there?
I will be printing additional copies, yes. How many will kind of depend on how popular he's turning out to be. And we also have the online store. So we'll be printing some extra copies for that.
Okay. So real quick here, you do have an online store for other comic books that you're doing. Can you just quickly go over some of the other books that you're working on
Sure.
and that you create at Gateway Comics?
Let's go to the main page.
Well, while that is happening, I'm going to be excused and use the bathroom.
Okay.
Okay, so we've had, during the 2-year run of Gateway Comics Presents, we've had 6 different comics which have been running here. Our oldest is Stalker, which has been running since about 2011 is when we first created the first Stalker issue. We've only been live on this website for a couple of years, but we have about 230 pages of Stalker up there. And we're working on Stalker number 8 now, and all of the other issues are available in the store. Our completed comic, we did a 4-issue run of Hellenistic Mysteries, which tells a pretty faithful telling of the Greek myths during the time of the Titans. It begins with the creation of the universe in the primordial from the primordial ether, and ends with the end of the Titanomachy, which is the war between the Titans and the Olympians.
Yes.
And then, of course, we have our original Super Cat, the one that I drew before Marcos joined us. And then our other three, which are still active and running. We've got the new Super Cat, of course, which is what we've been talking about. And then Marcos, who draws Super Cat, he has two of his own comics that he's publishing on my website. So these are original Brazilian superheroes created by himself and his fellow artists in his little studio in Sao Paulo. And so we have Animus. Animus is sort of a mythical reborn figure who belongs to a group called Penumbra. And the role of Penumbra is to maintain the balance between the light and the darkness so that neither one can become dominant and mess up the regular world. And during the course of the comics so far, it's pretty clear that the darkness is kind of predominant, and so he has been on the side of the angels fighting the darkness. And I'm kind of curious as to how the comic might shift if somehow that balance got shifted and suddenly he discovered that the good guys were the ones who were out of balance and had to be put back into balance, kind of like the way the Jedi misinterpreted that the Chosen One would bring balance to the Force, not realizing there were 10,000 of Venom and only 2 Sith. How do you balance that?
Yeah, oops. This isn't the prophecy we want to come to. Well, yeah, that's a lot like my first Destroyer book, which was Bully Pulpit here. I always looked at all these horror movies about the Omen and stuff like that. It's like, oh, the Antichrist is among us. We must stop him. I'm like, well, wait a second. This is your prophecy. And according to you guys, I say you guys, yeah, I'm a Christian too, but I'm just telling the people who created the film. But according to you guys, once this is all over with, you all get to go to heaven. Don't you want to go? Why would you want to stop this? So I had the bad guy in Bully Pulpit be a preacher who believed in all this stuff immensely, and was, saddened to always see good people lose their faith or fall away from the beliefs. So he stumbles upon this plan of Nikola Tesla that if utilizing today's technology, which Tesla didn't have, he can blow up the Earth in about 2.5 months by setting off regular explosions of minor impact. And by blowing up the Earth and setting something into irrevocable vibrations, he's forcing God to come back. Because God has promised he'd come back, so he's going to come back because the Earth is going to be destroyed and he has to keep his promise. And of course, the Destroyer has to stop all this from happening once it's discovered what's being done. So yeah, I think it would be very cool to see Animus suddenly have to start, taking the good guys down a peg to keep it in balance.
Yeah. And Quantum Team is another one of Marcos's projects. He's working with a number of his fellow artists down there, all of whom have created their own indie superheroes. He brought those heroes together into a team. So it's kind of combined several indie titles into a team called Quantum Team. And
I found the toe biter.
And the different artists take turns drawing and working together on the comic. And so the different creators of the different characters are sharing the art duties in bringing the quantum team stories to life. And so these are a group of Brazilian indie superheroes.
And these are all available through gatewaycomicspresents.com.
Correct.
I'll make sure I put a link to that in the description. So we're coming up at the top of the hour here, which is pretty much when we try to wrap up. Want to remind everybody replay of this that Super Cat is on Kickstarter. It just launched today. It is 3/5 of the way to funding. Would love to see this thing fund in one day. We always love those first day funded campaigns, because then Kickstarter or Indiegogo or whoever you're crowdfunding with starts to really promote them to the front page. Say, hey, people have really shown an interest in this. It has reached its goal. It's probably something you want to look at. So I'd love to see Super Cat get some prominence on the comics search page within Kickstarter. All right. So is there anything about Super Cat that we should know that I haven't asked about?
The kind of backstory of the comics, like how they were kind of made.
Yeah.
So how they were made was little 6-year-old Timmy was, first of all, he had an idea where it's going to be this cat that was an everyday cat with the kind of face mask that he uses was going to be purple, and he would have the red cape and purple mittens for paws on his paws, until Dad was like, you know what, no, that's tacky.
Dad got involved with the costume design.
And so that was scrapped, but
I'm pretty sure there was an orange polka dotted cape.
oh yeah, that was also on it.
Well, you know what? Do you know your color wheel? Your primary colors and your secondary colors?
Yeah.
Well, if you look at comic books historically, start looking at the old Marvels from the 70s and 80s, but just look at the characters, even in DC. All the heroes always wear red, yellow, and blue, and all the villains always wear purple, orange, and green, except for the Hulk. The Hulk was green and purple, and he's supposed to be a hero, and Stan Lee did that on purpose because he wanted people to question his motives. That's why he was like an anti-hero thing. So if you see a character in the comics and they're wearing purple and orange and green, you know right away they're the bad guy. Joker, Green Goblin, as
The
opposed to like Spider-Man,
aliens.
Superman. Yeah, the aliens.
Yeah, the aliens,
Skrulls.
they're all mostly blue with like purple uniforms, I'm pretty sure. Except the main alien, the big alien that controls them all has like has blue skin instead of green. So
he stands out. That's why he's the big bad guy. All right, and why are the aliens here, by the way?
So the aliens, it will by the second comic, you'll understand what I mean by this, but I'm gonna give just one little hint for people to think about until the next comic is released. Darkness rises, aliens flee, time to find a new home.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
The aliens flee. I hope they're the ones having to find a new home and not Super Cat. I hope Super Cat's not having to find a new home. Brad, how many pages are we looking at for this issue? I didn't ask that.
It's a 20-page comic book.
20 pages. So that's a standard size. 22-page, 20-page. For the money, this is something you really can't beat. So I can't see this not funding. Is this your first time crowdfunding comics, or have you crowdfunded the other ones?
I've done some crowdfunders for Stalker before.
Successful?
About 50-50.
Okay, well, that's fine. You've definitely delivered on books before already.
Yes.
You're not a newbie to the publishing game, and the art is very clean and very appealing. So I can see this I expect this to be a success, and we're going to continue promoting it on our channel and monitoring it and making sure that this thing goes, because I do want to see more kids creating comics, because when you have kids creating comics, that means that 10 years from now you have more adults creating good comics. I'd rather they start now and use their imagination than come in later just because they have art skills and draw what other people have created and continue the commercial business that we've accepted as what we're going to have.
Let me see here. I do. So Timmy is starting to develop his art skills. He's still, of course, young and developing.
Oh yeah.
Timmy did draw the original Super Cats, kind of Captain Underpants style, drawing him in class and sharing him with his friends. And he continues to do that, and his art continues to improve. And perhaps 10 years from now, he will be drawing Super Cat himself for the reading public. Oh, there's one of his original Super Cat versions.
Now that cat has a W on the front. Was that Wonder Cat?
No, it's supposed to be like the fur.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, that makes sense.
See, you can
Very
see
cool.
the whole you can see the mittens and all that. Because on the hands there were gonna be like purple mittens, you can already see them like
Right.
a little bit.
Very cool. So now you're going to study Marcos's art style, and of course also how panels are laid out, so that you can see how a story flows in a comic book, and get that pacing down, and the timing of a story, so that when you turn a page, you're setting up the cliffhanger, you're turning the page, you're getting the big shock value of the next image right away. So this is going to be a great learning project too, I think, Brad. This is I think Tim's going to come away with a lot more than just having done a comic under his belt. I think this could be something that is going to stick with him for life. To know that he did this and that he got a book into the hands of people. And who knows, keep that imagination going, keep creating comics and creating characters. You might have something that's going to be, on a movie poster 20 years from now.
Maybe. I think he's got something to say.
Yeah, there is one more thing I failed to explain with the whole alien thing. The mothership, which would be on the podcast down here,
Right down here.
and what the design for it is like a mushroom. And if you've ever seen like Halo 2 or Halo 3, the big mothership of all the Covenant is a big mushroom. And that's where we got the inspiration from.
Timmy designed all the alien vehicles, the aliens themselves, Super Cat, all the characters. Timmy did those initial drawings, and what Marcos is doing is his interpretation of Timmy's designs.
Sure.
So Marcos is doing the art, but not the design. Timmy's doing the story and design.
He's just kind of, how would you say, he's cleaning it up a little bit there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got that image right here. It's a background. We're all sitting on top of it. I'm uploading it as an overlay, so we can just put it over the top of us here for a second. So
Yeah, there it is.
That. All right, so that's the mothership there in the middle, and Super Cat's, kind of by the building. You got the other saucers that are flying around. This one's an upside down mushroom. I like that.
Oh.
It's kind of like a sombrero. All right.
It also the big one also reminds me of the space dock in Star Trek.
There we go.
Yeah.
If I may share my screen.
You absolutely may.
Okay. Share screen. Yes. Sure. Okay. So this is what it would be based off of, basically. The big Halo mothership.
Aha.
Yeah.
That does look familiar. Yep.
But yeah, that's what the whole mothership is based off of.
Awesome. All right. Very cool. Tim, Brad, appreciate you guys being here. Again, best of luck with this. I see this is going to be funding. I bet you're going to be at Cosmic Comics at a table here in the next couple of months. Tim's going to be signing his work for everybody who comes in. I know we're going to be there and visit. That's going to be an event I'm going to look forward to doing. And we're hoping everybody in the chat.
They're sort of waiting for things to settle down with the COVID. They don't want to have a big event in their store and have everybody walk away with a new disease. So
a mutated version of it.
When things become safer, we definitely look forward to doing something like that.
Absolutely. All right, everybody in the chat, be sure to hit the description down there below where you're going to see the link to the Kickstarter for Super Cat. 3/5 of the way funded. We want to see this thing reach fruition. We want to see young creators be rewarded for their efforts. And besides that, you're getting a quality product here. There's so much you're getting for the tiers here for honestly very little being asked in return. So get down there, pick a tier, put your money into it, and support comics. Until then, Tim, Brad, appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate everybody in the chat popping by, and we will take off for another show